Good evening. We have Debarchita with us, and we'll have a short introduction about Debarchita before we go into all of the strategy and sacrifices that she made. But before even I introduce her, a final question that everybody counters and tries to think about is when you see yourself in the list, and most probably in a list that definitely makes you into NLS, how does it feel? The time you saw your name.
It was like really overjoying, but like I was kind of expecting that. But during the preparation, it was like even if I get to the like top 5 interviews, it will be more than enough for me. But and even after like counting my marks, I had expected kind of like hundreds rank or something like that. But 44, I was really not expecting. I was like, and after calming myself a little, I just thought to myself like this year it was like worth it. I mean, I took a drop, so like I felt the drop was worth it. And then I just told my mother, and then she was also like a sigh of relief. And then my father, and they were also really overjoyed.
All right. For people who aren't aware of it as of yet, Debarchita scored an All India rank of 44. She is for sure getting into NLS Bangalore. And Debarchita is a graduate from DAV Unit 8, and she's dropped a year and she prepared throughout the year. Now, Debarchita, what I want to ask you is from the beginning, what stream were you in? And second of all, whether while you were studying for 12th, how would you approach legal as a profession? What motivated you to go for that?
I actually decided very late that I will draw law as a career. Like till the end, almost the end of the 12th, I was still with the mindset that I will go with medical. But I actually hadn't researched much about law as a career. So, but like when I started finally like seriously considering like what to do after 12th, so I saw
What
some,
stream were you in though?
I was in the PCMB,
Okay.
science stream. So when I like finally began to decide like what to do, I saw some question papers of the that time I think in 2020 the new pattern came. So I don't know about anyone else, but I really like the new pattern because it involved a lot of critical thinking, and I found that part interesting actually. Like except I think GK or something, but most of the part it was critical thinking, and like and also the principles they are like if you just interpret a single word wrong, then the whole meaning changes. I just really like that they interpret the law and everything. So that was really interesting for me. And the second reason was that I think the law as a field, it can be used in daily lives also. Like we should be aware of your rights. So I thought I will give it a shot.
All right. So, Debarchita, this is something that I've heard from people around you because I've been mentoring you, but then there are a lot of other people also that I've been speaking to, and they all point out that you always used to be very calm. That is one of your biggest strengths. So, how much did that help you, and what was your on the CLAT day mindset? Because what I see is that, see, there have been a lot of fluctuations. We saw your performance all throughout. You were consistent, but it's not that you were always breaching those top 50 ranks or something.
Yes, sir.
Right. So what changed that day? What was your mindset that led you to something like this?
I think that people think, like many people think, that if you just do one mistake, then it's over. Well, it's not that thing. Okay, because on the D day, when I was doing the English, there were times when my concentration just went to like other people, like what other people are thinking. It happened, and it will happen. I mean, most of the people just think that in between. But the thing is, you bring back your focus and just try your best in those 2 hours. Just don't think about anything. I also, like wished that I will just get the last bench so that I can consider it, but I got the first bench. So, but still, I just in those, I reached very early at the center. So I sat for a long time. In those time, I just planned out. I think this really helps to calm yourself down, that you just plan out what you're going to do in the exam. Just plan out the sequence, or like just even also like think what will you do if, for example, 2 sets of the maths are difficult, something, what do you do? Just think of all the worst things, and plan yourself out. That will calm you a little, like you will feel that you have some control. And I have also many people have asked me like, what do you think like before each mock and everything? I think like being anxious won't help, you may think a lot, but it won't help. So just like sit and just think about what will happen in the exam. I mean, just like plan it. Just take everything in your control. Like if this doesn't go well, then I will do this section like with focus. So and I think it's not like necessary that even if it's a long passage or something, you have to keep your focus like totally on that focus. Your focus won't go anywhere else. It's not natural. So just chill a little. I mean, even if, and I have also told many people that you have to move on. If a question is really difficult and you just can't choose, it's really important to move on. I have applied the trick a lot of times, and it really works. That you just mark that question and just go to the last and then come back to it. It works. Otherwise, you will just stuck in that question, and then you'll even panic more that there are other sections. And so that's it.
Great. So this is something that probably we've been all urging students to do, but usually it doesn't happen. It doesn't translate when you reach the examination.
Yeah, the mindset is different actually during the exam. No matter how much you make yourself understand, at the exam time, the mindset is a little different.
Right. All right. So tell us about the drop year, because you said that you dropped a year. That would have been a difficult decision, right? And then to have come back, I think it's somewhat in your nature. When you said that if a question goes wrong, it doesn't matter. You have to again come back with something better in the next question, right? And if something is difficult, you should not worry about it. You should look at the next step. So I think that's what you did over there. So tell us about the entire journey. What was last year CLAT like? Then what happened? How did you decide to take a drop year? And then what changed in your preparations?
Actually, when I gave the first CLAT, I hadn't prepared at all. Before giving the exam, I had already decided that I would take a drop. So I just gave that CLAT just for experience, like how is the experience of the taking the test. So I got, I think, a score of in the 50s and a rank in the 6,000 or something. But I didn't feel that much like discouragement or something because I knew that I had prepared. And after that, in my first mock also, I got a score of 50s or something. And the thing is, like, you know how much you have prepared. So it doesn't make any good if you discourage yourself that other people are getting 90s and all in their first mocks. Why am I not getting? So I think the only strength or the only section in which I was average was maths. All the other sections, especially GK, was very hard for me because I'm kind of a person who like rarely hold a newspaper or something. I just didn't took much interest in the general knowledge, but like everyone like me, for them starting GK must have been really difficult. Like my peers had just score of 26 or 29 and I had just 7 or 15 like marks, but I really tried my best and the months really helped me. So GK is really about revising. I mean, once you just get familiar with the news, those facts will come again and again in another news. So you'll get revise them just automatically. So that will help. So just keep revising. I mean, just kind of like keep 2-3 hours each day for GK. That will help. And I also didn't have any experience of reading long articles. Articles which I find boring, articles in which I have no interest. I didn't have any experience of that. So for that, of course, the newspaper helped a lot. And gradually, I found a lot of topics in which I had interest, for example, all the geopolitical news. So I was really happy when I got that Russia-Ukraine wala passage in the exam. Yeah, this will be fine. I'm comfortable with this passage. So you will find a lot of passage in which you are comfortable. And like the passage like economics or scientific or philosophical, you may not find it that much comfortable. But like you have to understand that I mean, not everyone is understanding the whole passage with like each sentence and everything. You have to get a idea of the passage, like what is the argument and what are they. So just everyone has their own way of understanding the passage. So just make that work. And maths, I think a lot of people have weakness in that. And I was average in maths, but there was a chapter time and work. I wasn't that much experienced with that, so that was a kind of difficult for me. But I just practiced a lot of questions, a lot of different variety of questions, and I think I gave a month for that or something. I just did a lot of questions for that, and finally it paid. And I think the main thing is the thing you are not comfortable with, you should get habituated with it. Like just do them repeatedly and until you get familiar with that. So that will help. And CLAT is not something I think rocket science or something, and it's also not that easy. You just have to be like consistent with that. You just have to keep patience with yourself, like believe in yourself, you will do it. It's not that difficult exam. So that just pushed me towards the end, and there was kind of some burnout or something in between. Like once I just tried to wake up at 4:30 or something because I had a lot of GK backlog, but that went for only 15 days. I mean, I won't recommend anyone to do that. It doesn't work. So, I mean, don't push yourself too hard. Won't be aggressive with yourself that much. But just you like everyone knows what is their requirement, what is their weakness. So just figure it out and try your best.
All right. So, Debarchita, there is a very polar opposite views about the pattern that CLAT asks. Now, some people hate it because there are at least 27 passages and there is absolute brain fatigue like after 1.5 hours. And some people absolutely love it because probably they have a reading habit throughout childhood. Now, there is a confusion I want you to clear. There is premise 1, which says Debarchita approves of the new pattern of CLAT. And there is premise 2, Debarchita hates reading new passages, long passages. So where is the confusion being sorted out?
I think I still hate reading long passages. I did even during the D exam. But the thing is, like, I don't think even the people who have got really good scores, they also like every passage of the exam. It's not about it's not a question about liking the passage or something. You just have to like get familiar with it, do it again and again, be comfortable with it. Be comfortable. The vocab will really help you if you just get familiar with the words, then it will really help. And sometimes there are like many twisted sentence, so when you like understand those, you feel happy, like yeah, I understood this paragraph or something. So I think just reading again and again, just doing it every day. And I just kept, I think in the last 4 months, I kept 3 days a week for sectional test. So just keep, like keep it a habit or something. So I think practice and just, doing it again and again will help a little.
So I'm curious about the fact that let's go a year back where your rank was almost around 6,000. Right now, it is at a ridiculous 44. Now, what we're talking about is let's go back to the year back and you look yourself a year back and ask yourself, what are those qualities that somebody can hone in a year? Second question being that, is it possible to hone that skill in a year that you can read that fast, that cogently and understand and answer without any exhaustion for the 2 hours that you sit for?
I think 1 year is a long time to develop a habit of reading. And I think many assume that reading in CLAT, reading means reading fast. But it's not that. I mean, you have to read it at your own pace. I mean, the pace at which you understand the passage. And like when you are reading the newspaper, I think the keep a timer or something, but don't try to, like in the first time, you need not try to read the whole editorial something in just 2 minutes or something. At first, you need to, read by understanding. I mean, just get familiar with the editorials, like get familiar with reading long passages. Then you just keep a timer and like try to fix yourself, like you will complete the passage in this time or something. And I think what I did in English was, since I'm not that comfortable with reading long passages or something, in English I used to read the questions first. Many don't prefer that, and it's okay. Like everyone has their own way. So since I read the questions first, so when I read the passage, I knew like where to focus, which sentence is important and everything. So that helped. And I think in a year, about like except the reading is, I think it will be improved in a year. It's enough. If you just read a newspaper every day, a passage every day, then it will improve. Even I did not have any reading habit or something before that. And I think maths is something which you should practice from the very start if you have a weakness in that. and GK. GK is like I had a very big weakness in that, so it's better if you just did it from the start. To just first 3 months you just get comfortable with GK, like know the general knowledge, like the normal things which you should be aware of, know that, and then just make your notes and anything that you are comfortable with.
Debarchita, how many mocks did you take in this year?
I can't tell a number, but I think in Career Launcher I just missed 1 or 2 mocks. I think maybe
Okay.
60 mocks or something.
Okay. How did you analyze each of the mocks after the mock?
I analyzed like both the wrong answer and the right answer. So first of all, I do the math section because there is much if I got the questions right, I think that yeah, I've understand that. That's why I got the questions right. So I don't analyze them. But there are some caselets which I couldn't do, so I do them first, and then I go to the legal part. So legal, I think that takes most of the time because, for example, if a topic came about torts and I could not do that, then of course I have to hone the basics of the tort at least. So I just go to the IPTers or something and do that again and again. And most important is the examples, because I think CLAT puts that those cases, those examples again and again. So do them, and then I just sometimes I make notes also in legal. Like if a question is, if a topic or question is repeating again and again, I write it down. And then I go to the English part. English, I think it's mostly about just reading, and then I think I attempted again. Not like a pura section or something, just a passage. Then I read the questions again and they solve it. And then I see like how many I get right again. And then I just read the logic, what is logic, and what I did was I gave a mock on Sunday. Then I was analyzing. I will just write small notes in the side of the questions, like why I did this question wrong, like silly things, like I didn't have concentration or something like that. I just wrote that. Then before the next mock, which is in the next Sunday, I just the previous night, I just read those small notes again to just keep it in mind in the next mock. So I did the same with English and logic. And GK, I just if a topic, whole passage, I didn't get any answer, so just make notes and ask someone else if this is important or not, and then just make notes about it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. How do you prepare for a mock? You answered that as well. And one more question, Debarchita. So how many hours you used to study in a day, and how many hours to which section? If you can throw some light on that.
I don't actually count hours, but I think I made a list.
On average, yeah.
Average, I think it's 8 or something hours. Yeah. So I mostly read in the morning because that time I was really active. So in the morning I read too much, and in evening I think I cheated a lot. Like I'm looking at the book, but I'm not reading. But in the morning I read, and most of the time went to GK in the last 3-4 months. But before that, most of the time went in reading things like a newspaper or passages in the scroll or something in those websites, because I had to make a reading habit. I was really poor in that. So in the first 4-5 months, I gave much of the time to the reading, and maths was it was every day, like in the night or in the morning. I just gave little time to that. And in the last 3-4 months, I gave to the GK. And legal, I think I did at least the principal fact-based question sometimes, or I did the concept someday. It depends. I didn't decide or something. I just made a to-do list every day and did according to that.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean, you have taken around 60 mocks. Let's assume that inclusive of everything will count it around 70, 80. Now, there is this problem that I faced, 5-6 years back, and there is some problem that everybody faces too. So I need to ask whether you felt it as well. Now, the base is when you study all the subjects, essentially, thoda bahut, you are able to appear for a mock. But the problem starts when you appear for 20 marks and then you notice that your mark is being stuck to a particular level and doesn't go away. Now that's a plateau that I think a lot of people face it. Now, did you face it? That's question number one. How would you breach that? How would you advise somebody to breach that plateau and rise above? And this is a personal question. I'm very curious. What was your last mock score?
So of course I faced that problem. And it was like 3-4 months pehle tha. So I just it was a little discouragement. And I think to breach that problem, you need to find out like in which area it is stuck. Like it is the legal section or the English section, or because the question paper was difficult. And is it like the career launcher also shows the percentage? So if you see that your percentage is also stuck, then it means that the question paper is only tough. And so for that, what you can do is, if the English or logical is stuck, then you can, like what I did actually did for that only. Since I was stuck in this course, I wrote those notes and then I developed that analysis all a step. So for example, you just I got a score of kind of 74, and then the next is 75 or 76. If in both the test it's only the English and logical that I'm stuck, then I would just increase, like practice more about it, or just give more time to it. I would do a 30 minutes sectional test of it. And there are also different reasons for that. Like did I get nervous, or my logic was like it was a fault in my logic? So and it's a like different problem for different people. So if it's a maths, then it's easy. Like you just have to do that chapter, to practice that chapter, and you will get like improve in that. So I think that will help.
And there is this clear phenom right now that you don't like GK at all. Now, if you have to advise somebody one advice that probably you saw worked for you, what is that advice? Like, do you make notes from a newspaper? Do you read like every day 2-3 hours? Do you revise it? How would you go by it?
I didn't actually make notes from the newspaper. And I also like in the last 3-4 months, what worked was that I also had a friend. So since I'm really a lazy person, I postponed a lot. So since I discussed with her, she asked me questions from a topic I asked her. So that made me like a punctual or something. I had this in mind that if I don't make notes today, then we won't be able to discuss tomorrow. So I made notes today, and they were also like became more comprehensive. Sometimes
did you have a study group? The one that you're talking about, is it a study group sort?
No, I had actually a particular friend with whom I discussed.
All right.
So I just like before her, I used to leave some facts, like important facts. I just overlook them or did not just search for them. But after discussing with her, I just saw a pattern or something. Like if a new topic has come, what I have to search about it, what side topics I have to search about it. So then we asked, and if you have anyone to like discuss with, then it becomes a little more interesting. It won't be that boring. And so a study partner will help. And like when I was doing alone, it was still boring, but I'm just going to repeat it. But like while starting GK, it will be really boring. It will be really difficult because everything is new. You have no idea. You just remembering it, memorizing it. But after you get familiar, then we'll be able to relate like one news with the other. So it will become a little more interesting, a little more comfortable. So just like go on with it, revise it again and again. Like everyone has to do it, just do it.
Cool.
All right. So Debarchita, during the mocks, you would have discovered what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses over a period of time, right? So did you have a fixed strategy as to how much time you're going to give to which section, the order in which you would attempt them, or were you a little flexible with that? So what exactly was the plan?
I changed the sequence in the last month actually. Before that, I had a whole like different sequence. At first, I had that. I didn't change my sequence in the D-Day actually, because that would have panicked me much or something like that. So I didn't change that. Like first I had those that I will all complete all reading sections first, and maths and GK or something like that. But my final sequence was that like first GK, then English and logic. So like after that, I had some 55 to 50 minutes. So I was kind of comfortable to know that I have 50 minutes for legal and maths. So I did that in that way. I mean, like if someone is not comfortable in doing 3 reading sections like together, they can of course like do first English, then GK, like keep breaks. The GK and the maths are kind of breaks like between the reading section. They can do that. So like I wasn't that much flexible, but if like I see a legal passage, I know that I'm totally not familiar with it. It is about I think mediation or arbitration or something. I'm totally not familiar about it, and the questions are also like application based, not like RC type. So I keep that passage for last. But I do this with like 1-2 passage only. I don't leave a section for the last or something like that. I don't change the sequence, but just like depending on the difficulty of a passage, I keep it for the last.
Okay. And how much time would you give to individual sections?
And GK I gave 7 minutes, I guess. Then English took less time. I think it is 25, not 24, 23 minutes like that. Logical, the passage was short, but the questions took too much time. So I gave it a 30 minutes max. Then legal, I do a lot of time. I gave it kind of 40 or something. That's why I actually tried to do the English and logic a little quicker. And maths, I think like I always did 2 sets out of the 3. So they were completed in 10 minutes or 12 minutes. And if I had time, then I went to the 3rd set. But like on the final day, I had time. So I tried all the 3 sets.
Okay.
And
Great. So clearly, I think the way you are telling me, you would consider legal to be your strength, if I'm not mistaken.
not so much. I don't think I got a good score in the final exam, but in the mocks, it was like in some mocks, it was a strong section.
Right. So now my question is, if let's say, because this is not just for the actual CLAT, also during the mocks, because we learn a lot of lessons during the mocks, right? So if legal is one of your strengths, and suddenly if legal comes out to be very difficult in a particular mock, then what do? Do you stick to the 40-minute plan, or do you reduce the time given to that section?
It did come difficult, I think. Like it was unfamiliar passages in the final exam. But if I see that the passages are really small, and it depends on the question. Like sometimes there are only 2 questions that need application. Like there is a situation and you need to apply that principle, and other 3 are like RC based. You will find in the passage. Then I'll do that. But if a passage really unfamiliar and all the questions are like application based, I just leave it for the last. So of course I just give a little less time to legal. And it has also happened a lot of times that I had left a passage in legal in the marks, but still I could get 100 above marks. So I thought it's okay. And I went with that mindset in the exam also.
All right.
Debarchita, the rank, of course, at the end of a strenuous year makes you feel happy about the things that you've made through. Now, for somebody who's preparing for a year, and of course, a drop year would entail you staying at home, especially the COVID lockdown, it's very boring, it's very frustrating. So how would you maintain a motivation throughout this year? And what is up with this thing about people talking about कि social media से दूर रहो, internet से दूर रहो, because clearly internet का फायदा भी बहुत ज़्यादा है. So how about you? How did you maintain the motivation, and did you cut down on the social media usage?
I'm kind of a person, if I just use social media, I will stick to it. Like I will get addicted, I know, so I just shut it off. But people who can use it controllably, like you can, I just deactivate my Instagram, but I was also looking at other social media sites. No, so if you can use it controllably, then it's okay. I mean, if you just isolate from everyone, it will not work. It will do more harm than good. So, and the question of how to keep motivation. I don't know if I'm the right person to answer it, because I had a lot of burnouts also, and it just felt like it's not worth it, and everything is just came to my mind in between. But like you just fix your goal. Like sometimes I used to, like in the YouTube, I used to watch all the NLU blogs and everything that used to motivate me. And if you have any senior in the NLU, you can talk to them. And just imagine everything that will when you will see the rank, when you will go to the analyst, you can imagine all that, and you will keep motivating.
Like manifest it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So now that you've got what you wanted from this exam, you've got the result. So what are you doing presently? How would you spend the next?
Now I'm relaxing a lot, but I had actually planned with my friends that we will meet on Sunday, but yesterday the notice came that we have to be present in the university campus on Sunday. So everyone was like scolding me, what you did, like it is jaldi and all. So, but still, like it's still like a shanti of peace that I can sit if I want, I can draw if I want, I can watch a series without the guilt that I'm not reading. So it like the most important thing that it did feel like it was worth it. I didn't.
Did you not watch a
finish
series
it.
at all to the prep?
No, I watched it. I watched it while
With guilt.
like after
You would
eating
do
or
this
something.
with guilt, right?
Yeah.
So one last question, Debarchita. So what are your career aspirations?
I actually haven't
Money.
decided. I will just go to NLS, see what opportunities. If I have seen till the last moment, I had the medical in my mind. After that, it changed. So I don't think I can stay on decide from now what I'll do. So I'll just go there, see what options are there, and then I'll decide.
All right, Debarchita. So that would be all from our end. It was really good to talk to you because not only it gave us a perspective as to how people who struggled at a certain point of time can turn it around, how even plan changes. So you had a major change of career plan and still things work out so well. So that is very heartening to see. And I'm sure it will inspire a lot of candidates who are going to prepare for CLAT in the next term and then even many more terms after that. So thanks a
Thank you,
lot for
sir.
this discussion and stay connected.
Yes, sir.